In this video, we're gonna walk through what you actually need on your baby registry and the essential items you're gonna wanna include. Hey, it's Morgan with Passable Parent. I've been a pediatric nurse for the past 10 years, specializing in early childhood development. I'm also a new mom. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe, and any of the items I talk about today will be listed in the description box below. All right, so let's jump into what you need to put on your registry. For my baby registry, I liked Babylist. That's who I used to build out my registry. Also like Amazon, there's a bunch of different sites you can use to build out your baby registry. It really just depends on your preference and what you prefer. The reason why I went with Babylist and why I chose that one is because you can link any other websites to it. You can only link items on Amazon or on Amazon, whereas with Babylist, you can link from any websites. This is really helpful categories to break everything down. That was why I went with Babylist, but again, it really is up to your preference. That's just my opinion. That's just what I used, what I liked. Today's video, when I'm letting you know what items I think are essential to be included on your registry, I'm going to break it down into categories like I had on Babylist to try and keep things organized for you. The first category I want to talk about is what I'm referring to as baby gear. Items that I think are essential and that you should include in baby gear. If you live in a home with tile or hardwood, really going to want to include soft play mats down on your floor. The reason why I think this is something essential and that every caregiver or parent needs to include on their registry is because as a pediatric nurse specializing in early childhood development, I know how important it is to get your babies on the floor, get that floor time in, get that tummy time in. So that's why I think include some sort of play mat that you can get your baby down on the floor comfortably. I really liked the company called Toki. I'm gonna link them below just like I will all the items we'll talk about today. I really liked their mats. They were easy to clean. Some of them kind of look like rugs. They come in all different shapes and sizes. I actually put their smaller sizes on my registry because you can pick it up and take it outside with you to bring baby outside, which is another thing as a pediatric nurse that I feel is so important to do with your little one. Get them outside, getting the fresh air and the sunshine, and you want them to be safe. It's nice to have that padded cushion or mat to bring outdoors with you. That is one brand that I really liked. Another thing I really liked was soft tiles. They are these interlocking squares that you can put down on your hardwood or tile floors. And again, it provides a cushion and a padding so you can get down on the floor with baby. You can do that tummy time. You can give them that playtime on the floor, which is great for their development. Another play mat that I really liked and we have is actually from Pottery Barn Kids. It's called the Ruggish Play Mat. I'll also link that below. I really like that one because it looks just like a rug. It's pretty stylish. And the one that I chose, you actually can flip over when you're not trying to make it look like a rug, and it has like little tracks on it that your child could play with toy cars and things like that on once they get older. So that was another one that I really liked from Pottery Barn Kids. I think they have a couple different choices in terms of style. It's really padded. It's really nice and cushiony. Loved it for getting down on the floor with my son since we have all hardwood and tile. I would place his activity gym on top of that for, some extra cushion. Now, if you live in a home where you have carpets and this isn't really in your budget, you could just use a blanket to get down on that floor and get that essential floor time and tummy time, or an activity gym. But if you live in a home with hard floors, including these play mats are great and a wonderful way to keep baby comfortable and to maximize that time on the floor, which is so important. The next items that I have listed in baby gear that I think are essential and that every new caregiver or parent is gonna want is some sort of device that your child can sit in. Now, I don't recommend leaving your child in these for prolonged periods of time. My background as a pediatric nurse, I want you to get on the floor with that baby. I want them to, not be constrained in a device. But I also understand how hard it is as a parent to get things done. We do need them and we just need a break now and then. It's important to limit how much time they're spending in these things. I really liked the 4Moms Mamaroo. That was one of my favorites out of all the different swings and products I've seen and tried on the market. It's great because it has soothing movements for baby. And now I will put a disclaimer, you should never, ever, ever leave baby alone unattended in one of these devices, and they are not for sleep. They are not safe for sleep. I know it's hard because they like them. They're comfortable in them. They do fall asleep in them. You need to be awake supervising them when they're in them, and it's not to a device that you should be putting baby in at night to go to sleep for. Please keep that in mind. But they are great to use during the day. You need to cook or clean and you have baby right there. You can see them. You can talk to them while you're doing these things. You can get some stuff done. They're great tools to have. Also, along with that, really like the baby Bjorn. That is another one of these types of devices. Now this one doesn't have any sort of electronic movement to it. It kind of just rocks back and forth with baby's natural movements. This one's a really good one as well. So it really just comes down to your preference. There are all kinds of other swings and items like that on the market. My top choice is definitely the 4Moms Mamaroo. My child really preferred the Mamaroo. So it's really just preference, and every baby is a little bit different, but I would definitely look for one of these items, and I would also keep in mind you want to limit baby's time in them, but they are great tools for parents just to be able to get, you know, hands-free for a few seconds or minutes or so a day. Definitely include some of these or one of these in your baby registry. I think they're great. You really just need one. Figure out which one's your favorite, go to the store, feel them, touch them if you can, watch videos on them, see which one that you think will be best fit for you. The next item that I think is really important to include on your baby registry is a pack and play. Really depends too how much you're going to be traveling, if this item is really essential for you or not, what kind of budget you're on. I absolutely loved my pack and play. I went with the 4Moms Breeze Plus pack and play. The reason why I chose this one is it was very easy to use. So it was push one button and the whole thing collapses or assembles itself. It was super easy to use, super easy to carry around, transport. I loved it. Another thing that you can use this for other than travel with your baby, it's essentially where you would put them to bed at night if you're traveling. It's their crib. It's a safe place to sleep. As long as you don't, again, include anything else in there, just the fitted sheet that is sold with it. That's it. No toys, nothing around the sides. It's also really nice if you live in a multi-story home and you only have one changing table. You can actually buy an attachment for this particular pack and play, or some of the other ones out there on the market include an attachment that allows you to change baby's diaper using the pack and play. It might be a really smart idea if you only have one changing table to have this on one story of your home if it's a multi-story home, set up so that way you don't have to keep going up and down any stairs when you need to do diaper changes. I think that it's a really valuable tool in that way because, again, you want to be really careful carrying baby up and down the stairs. Make sure you've got good no-slip socks on. Make sure you're taking your time, and you want to be careful carrying baby and any other items. So it definitely helps with that, having a pack and play, not only for travel, but also for those diaper changes if you live in a multi-story home, apartment, or building. The next item that you're going to need that I put under baby gear is a diaper bag. I went with a backpack style diaper bag, and I'm gonna include a bunch of different styles and choices when it comes to the backpack. The reason why I liked the backpack style is, you know, you want your hands free. The backpack style diaper bags allow you to do this. You're carrying baby, you're carrying baby's items, baby's thing with your hands, maybe your coffee, your water bottle, whatever. It's just easier to have a diaper bag that goes on your back as a backpack as opposed to a tote. But again, this comes down to preference. Everybody has a different preference. For me, I found it much easier to be able to carry something on my back and have my hands free. I also found that my partner or other people that I would be with, when I would go out, it would be easier for them to carry the diaper backpack and help me if I was carrying my child. It was just easier for them rather than a tote. For you, figure out what works, what you prefer. And there's many different styles and choices to choose from when it comes to a diaper backpack. Next essential item, and I think this is really an essential one for all parents and caregivers, is the Boppy Luxe nursing pillow. This is the Boppy that has the hole in it. For me, it didn't really work out the best for nursing, but I know for a lot of moms, this is a great breastfeeding pillow. I actually preferred a different pillow, which I'm going to talk to you about for breastfeeding, but the reason why I still think that everyone should get one of these Boppy pillows in this style, the one with the little hole cut out of it, because it's not just for nursing, it's great for tummy time. It's great when your baby is building their tolerance up with tummy time. It's a great thing to position underneath their chest to kind of elevate them a little bit and prop them up to help them build those core neck muscles and head muscles to be able to eventually take that away. Then you could do like a rolled burp cloth or towel in its place, and then just slowly be able to get them to the point where their stomach is flat on the ground and they're able to hold that head and neck up. But using this Boppy in the beginning, when maybe it's they're a little bit more fussy with it, no baby really loves tummy time right away, this is a great tool. It gets your baby more comfortable and it strengthens those head and neck muscles. And again, this is something you should be doing, be supervising them the entire time. But I really liked this Boppy pillow for that reason. The Boppy Luxe Nursing Pillow, it's called, and it comes in many different styles and different cover choices. I definitely think this is an essential. This is a great way to use this during tummy time. Another great way to use this pillow is to prop your baby up on it, just sitting their back up against it to kind of, just get that head up a little bit, get them off their head, prevent any soft spots from forming, etc. So definitely include this in your registry. The next category that I'm going to talk to you about of items to include on your baby registry, I'm going to call the transportation category. Now, in this category, I think that it's really important that you look for a good baby carrier. Babies love to be close to you, get comfort from that. They feel security. I definitely recommend choosing a carrier. My favorite was the Ergo Baby 360 carrier. There's all different types of carriers out there on the market now. You want to check and see what's safe for baby. Look at the safety ratings. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the proper way to position baby in the carrier. You want to make sure that the baby is comfortable in it the proper way, so that way it doesn't cause any problems for their hips or anything like that. I definitely think investing in a good carrier to carry your baby is a great thing to include on your baby registry. The next item that I'm going to include under the category transportation is a stroller. I really like the Uppa Baby Vista V2 stroller. Now, this stroller is expensive. This was a gift that was given to me as a group gift because it is just a huge expense, and a lot of the strollers out there are some cheaper ones that you can get, but I found that they don't work as well. They're really hard to maneuver, hard to get in and out of your car, and ended up costing more in the long run rather than just going with this stroller off the bat. But again, it's really your own unique situation. Another reason why I really like the Uppa Baby Vista V2 is because I plan to have more children, hopefully. This one actually can convert to hold more than one baby at a time. While the price tag on this one is big, if you're expecting multiples, this might be the type of stroller that you want to go for right off the bat. It can accommodate 2 children at once, and then it also will accommodate a toddler. It has a little kickstand portion of it that they can stand on. I think that if you're planning to have a large family or you're adding another baby into the mix, this might be the stroller for you. I definitely advise that if you're looking for a stroller, look at this website. It's called Consumer Reports. Now on this website, you can see the safety ratings for all these different items like strollers, car seats, all that stuff. And I think it's really important to look at that when it comes to choosing this baby gear, because all these different companies out there, they're trying to market to you, and there's really not a lot of checks and balances, especially when it comes to baby products. They will put things are educational that aren't. They will put things are safe that aren't. So really, this website, Consumer Reports, they're an unbiased, they're not financed by any in particular companies. They run these safety checks on these items, unaffiliated with these companies. Definitely recommend looking at the items on there to see how they're rated and how they hold up in safety tests. I also really liked the Doona Stroller. It's a car seat and stroller in one. This is great for anyone who's traveling or needs to go through the airport. This is a really good stroller. It's really compact, great for travel. I had a lot of good experiences with it. We used it for my child quite a lot on our travels. That's just another stroller that I'm going to mention. I didn't have it on my baby registry initially. I actually ended up getting it later once we had some planned travel. I just want to mention it, make a note of it, because it was a great travel stroller. A Again, there are certain size limitations to it. It's only going to work for so long, and you want to check and see that with your strollers as well, what the limitations are on it. The next item that I think is essential that every parent or caregiver should have on their registry is a car seat. I went with the car seat that went along with the Uppa Baby Vista Stroller system, the infant car seat. It went along with that system. Again, whatever car seat you choose, the best advice that I can give you is to check out that consumerreports.com and make sure that your car seat that you're choosing is crash test rated, safety test rated highly, because that is the number one most important thing. You know, many companies will market these really cute designs or pretty car seats and whatnot. None of that really matters. All that matters is that your baby is going to be safe and that this gets you from point A to point B. Most valuable thing that I can tell you about is checking out these devices on Consumer Reports and making sure that they are rated highly and will keep your baby safe in the event of an accident. The next items under transportation that I want to talk to you about are a sound machine. You're probably going to want to have a sound machine with you, especially when you're on the go, in case baby needs some white noise for a nap. I think they're a really great tool to have. I always keep one in my diaper bag. I like the one from Rohm, the Yoga Sleep. That's one of my favorites. I know there's a lot of other ones out there that are really good. Definitely look at the portable sound machine options. Another thing you're going to want to include on your baby registry is a mirror for your car so that you can see your baby when you're driving. Now, you don't want to be staring at your baby the whole time when you're driving because that's not good. That's distracted driving. But you might want to check in on them every now and then and look back and make sure they're okay. It just gives you great peace of mind. The car that I drive, it actually doesn't have headrest that lifts up with the little bars. That made it a little bit more tricky for me to find a mirror that worked. But I went with the Diono. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. I have it right up here and I'm linking it down below. I went with that mirror. That worked for me. If you have a headrest in your back seat that goes up and down and has the two little pieces of metal, then there are many more options available to you for the car mirrors. Definitely check one of those out and consider putting that on your baby registry. Next category I want to talk to you about for your baby registry is toys. I think is essential and every parent or caregiver should have on their baby registry under the toys category is a play gym, an activity gym. This is because that floor time and that belly time is so important. My absolute favorite play gym is by Lovevery. I absolutely love them. This one's a little bit more money than some of the other play gyms out there. It comes with great booklets that kind of help explain to you how to do tummy time, what activities to do with your baby. It includes little attachments of little toys that hang down in front of your baby to help engage them. I can't say enough good things about that company. As a pediatric nurse specializing in early childhood development, they have all kinds of experts in the field of early childhood development that really have catered to making toys that are great for your child's development. That's why I chose that play gym. There's some other really great ones out there. You want to look for one that's not too crazy, that doesn't have like battery powered lights or sounds to it. You want something more simple. Remember that your baby at first can only see in black and white, and they can only see 8 to 12 inches from their face. They really prefer high contrast black and white images. Anything with crazy different colored lights or crazy patterns, you want to kind of steer away from, because you don't want your baby to be overstimulated, and it really isn't something that they can pick up on. They can only pick up on those high contrast things. If you're looking, I recommend maybe even going for a play or activity gym that's black and white in color and has maybe different hanging attachments that are also in that black and white. The second, what I'm going to consider a toy that I think you should include on your registry is by Skip Hop. It's an activity center. The reason why I chose this activity center is because of your baby's foot placement. You want to look for an activity center where your baby's toes are not pointed down towards the ground. This isn't good for your baby because that's not how you learn how to walk. Baby's foot really should be flat when they're in one of these activity centers, because they need to be able to learn how to do something called flexion and extension with their foot. So you don't want to leave them in a prolonged position where their feet are pointed down. This actually leads to developmental delays and delayed walking. All these things in moderation, especially when it comes to these devices where your baby is not really having the time to freely move their bodies on the floor. Definitely limit how much time your baby spends in something like an activity center. Like this one better than, let's say, jumpers or some of those other swings that are out there on the market, because I do like the way that this has an adjustable bottom to it that can sort of be repositioned along with your baby's foot placement to kind of keep that foot a little bit more flat. Sometimes even in this activity center, the foot is a little bit pointed downward, but it's better than some of the others where the foot is just hanging and pointed downwards. That's why I chose this activity gym for my child and why I think it's one of the best ones out there. The great thing about this activity center is actually the toys that are on it. It has some really great toys. They aren't just, push this button and something happens. There are little attachments that go with this activity center that your baby has to actually work for something with these toys. They have to push this little leaf down and an owl pops out. They have to move these little trees that come with it, and they can see how they sway and how they feel with their hands. And it's really about your baby exploring these toys with their bodies rather than just hitting a button and something happens. And I think that's something really important for parents or caregivers to keep in mind when looking for toys for baby. You want to look for something that really gets them exploring and learning how to use their bodies and engaging with the toy in a different way. I just think that that is a great thing about this activity center. A lot of them kind of just have those push a button type toys on them, or really crazy lighted toys, or make a lot of noise and songs, whereas I think this one only had one component to it that has any light or sound, which I really like from a child development standpoint, because I think it gives your baby the opportunity to really learn and explore toys that they have to just engage more with. It's more required of them. They're working their brains a little bit more rather than the lighted toys or the ones that play sounds. Another toy that I think you should include is a stack of rings. These are so important for your baby's development. Something as simple as a ring stack. It really helps them learn their fine motor skills, their gross motor skills, and stacking is a great way to do this. This particular one that I put on my registry, it was from Amazon and it was under $5, and it has different textures on each ring. One of them even rattles and makes a sound. I definitely think including a ring stack is a great thing to have on your registry. It keeps baby engaged. They learn all different types of skills with a ring stack. Some other toys you're going to want to include are high contrast toys. I really liked these high contrast plush toys. I found they were great for tummy time. Keeping baby engaged and enjoying tummy time and distracted was a great tool to increase that tummy time gradually so they can work up those core muscles and neck and back muscles that are so important and lead to later being able to roll over, to crawl, to walk. It all builds on itself. And really, you just want to try and get anything you can that keeps baby interested and enjoying tummy time. I really like these plush toys for that. Other thing you're going to want to look for, especially when it comes to toys for that tummy time, are high contrast images or cards. That company that I mentioned earlier, Lovevery, I really, really like them. They have a lot of high contrast black and white cards in their play kits, and that come actually with that play gym that I talked about earlier. There are many other companies that sell black and white cards that have different shapes on them and different patterns. It's important to grab one of these and have this on your registry so that way you can keep your baby engaged during that crucial, super important tummy time and floor time. Definitely include that on your registry. Another item you might want to include under the toy category on your baby registry is sensory toys like rattles and teethers. These are great. I really like the company Manhatan Toy Company. They have a bunch of different options for you. I really liked this one, which I have right here, and I'll link it below. Really any like rattles or things like that, teethers. Of course, you want to make sure it's nothing that your baby can choke on. And again, you want to be supervising baby when they play. Like this company, and I think it's really important to include teethers, rattles, and like sensory toys that really get your baby's brain working and exploring. Think about including a couple of those on your registry. Another item you might want to include is little wrist rattles. This set of wrist rattles I had on my registry, and that's another one from Manhatan Toy Company. And you just strap these on your baby's wrist. You never leave them on their wrist. You're supervising them when they're on their wrist. The little rattles in them, it makes your baby realize like, oh, hey, I have hands, I have arms, oh my gosh. And it kind of gets them learning more about their bodies, and that if they move their hand, something happens. It's making this noise. This is so cool. I definitely recommend including something like that on your baby registry. The next category for your baby registry I'm going to talk about is clothes and accessories. Now this category really comes down to personal preference and choice, and really your budget. You're definitely going to want some onesies and some one-piece outfits. Some of one-piece outfits that I really, really liked are magnetic me's. These are super easy to get baby in and out of. They are magnet fasteners. The magnets are sewn in for safety. Now you do want to always check and make sure that it doesn't look like there's any damage to any magnets or buttons or zippers that you're putting baby in. Really great. I love the magnetic me's. I also really love any one-piece outfits that zip, because nothing beats not having to do those buttons, especially for those late night diaper changes or, you know, when you're in a hurry. Definitely recommend getting a bunch of outfits like that in the beginning, because they just make it so much easier. And I'm of course going to link those below. You're also maybe going to want to include some hangers that you can hang these up with. You can get some baby children's size hangers on Amazon. I'll link them below as well. When it comes to the category clothes and accessories, it's really personal preference. Those are just a couple brands that I really liked. Really easy to get baby in and out of. The next category we're going to talk about is feeding. Definitely going to want to have a high chair on your baby registry. You might not need it right away. It's really up to you. So it's not recommended to start solid foods for baby until after 6 months old. For the first 6 months of life, your baby should either be receiving breast milk or iron fortified formula. It's up to you if you want to get the high chair right away and include it on your registry. I think why not? It's definitely an item that you're going to need. It's your preference. I really like the Graco 6-in-1 high chair. I think now they make a 7-in-1. I really liked it. I thought it was great. The reason why it might be important to have one right away, even when your baby's not eating solid foods, is, you know, if you're sitting down to a meal, where are you going to put baby? You might want to put them in their high chair. Easy way to get baby used to sitting down for meals. It's an easy way to be able to still socialize and engage with your baby during meals, having that high chair. Rather than holding baby in your lap and trying to eat one-handed, it can be really nice to have that high chair. When it comes to high chairs, if you're planning on using this high chair in that type of situation, you're gonna wanna look for one that has a recline to it, because you have to remember your baby can't hold their head up right away. So you're gonna wanna look for one that has a recline option to it. It's just something to keep in mind when you're looking for high chairs. Another thing you're going to want to include under feedings are, you're going to want some burp cloths and bibs. Some brands that I really liked for this are Copper Pearl and Aden and Anais. They made really soft fabrics that I really like, different patterns. You might want to look for one with a crazy pattern. That way when your baby spits up on it, it's easier to wash. It's not as noticeable. You don't really need too many burp cloths or bibs. Don't go crazy with it. You're going to be able to wash them and reuse them. I went a little crazy with how many I put on my registry. I think if you had a couple sets, you'll be good. You're also going to want to include some utensils. You're going to want some chew utensils. You're going to want some baby feeding spoons. I have them all linked below. These are all great ones to choose. You're going to need them again until probably around 6 months or so, whenever recommended by your pediatrician to start solid foods. That is the current recommendation. It's going to be a while before you need them, but it's something to think about to include on your registry. And while we're on that topic, another thing is an open cup, like the one by EZPZ. They are a really good company, and the reason why I'm telling you to do an open cup is, you know, I'm not expecting your baby to be able to pick it up and drink out of it right at 6 months or so, whenever you're introducing foods. Really good to be able to give them their drinks in an open cup and have them drink out of that open cup, because it actually promotes the way your tongue moves in your mouth, and that later leads to speech development. All the speech pathologists will tell you, get your baby drinking out of an open cup, and then later you want to start introducing them to a straw, because your tongue and your mouth moves differently when you're drinking from an open cup, and later when you're drinking from a straw, rather than when you're drinking from a sippy cup, or you're nursing from the breast, or you're drinking out of a bottle. Those are all sucking motions, and they don't get your tongue moving the same way that drinking out of an open cup or out of a straw does. And this is really, really important for your baby's future speech development. Definitely look at including a open cup such as this one on your baby registry. When we're talking about feeding, you definitely want to include some bibs for feeding that have the little shelves in them. This catches the food when your baby's eating, and it just helps with messes. I don't know, this works for me. I've found mealtime cleanup so much easier and less stressful. Definitely would include those items on your baby registry. And on that topic, I also would include one of these mats from House of Noah. They just go underneath your high chair area, and all the food and everything drops right onto them, and it makes it easy. Just wipe it up. Now it's not padded. It's really just vinyl piece. It's thin, so it's not something that will provide any cushion to play with your baby on, but it's great for putting under the high chair at mealtime. Definitely include that in my registry as well. Next category I'm going to talk about is if you're breastfeeding. So breastfeeding or nursing mamas, these are some items you're going to want to include in your registry. If you're a breastfeeding or nursing mama, or even a pumping mama, check out my other videos on breastfeeding, pumping, essential items you'll need for breastfeeding or pumping. Definitely make sure you're liking and subscribing and check out those other videos. I think they'll be really helpful for you. Just sort of a brief overview of a couple things to include on your registry. There might be many more things that you're going to want if you're going to try breastfeeding or nursing. In this category, you're going to want the My Breast Friend pillow. I loved the My Breast Friend pillow. It just was adjustable. It was so much more comfortable to wear when nursing. It made nursing so much easier. I even at some points was eating off of it like a shelf. Not ashamed to admit it. I really, really liked this nursing pillow. It just made nursing so much easier and more comfortable for me. Definitely one of my must-haves if you're a breastfeeding or nursing mom. Another thing that you might want to include is a nursing cover. Even if you're not breastfeeding or nursing, they're really cool. You can put them over a high chair if you go out at a restaurant. Put it as a high chair cover that they have there, slip it over, kind of keep baby safe from some germs. Also can use it over your infant carrier. It kind of goes on if baby's sleeping and you don't want a lot of light. Great for that as well. So definitely include a couple nursing covers. You maybe only need one or two. They're machine washable. I really like these ones from a company called Milk Snob. I think Copper Pearl also makes some. These are all some great options for you for nursing covers. Another item that you're going to want to include on your registry if you're a pumping or nursing mama is the Haka breast pump. It suctions onto your breast and catches any letdown when you're nursing or if you're just pumping off of one side at a time. You can then save that important milk. I definitely also recommend getting the lid with it. I think some sets sell it with the lid and others don't, so be careful. Make sure you get one with a lid or you buy the lid separately because you don't want to knock that over and waste that milk. I know how much work goes into getting it. Also, definitely going to need a breast pump for all you nursing and breastfeeding moms and those who pump. Whether you're just exclusively nursing or not, having a breast pump really helps build up supply in the beginning. This is something that you actually don't need to put on your baby registry because many insurance companies will cover it. I made the mistake of putting it on my registry and then one of my friends told me, hey, you should see if your insurance covers it. Most insurance companies do. You're definitely going to need one. Look and see if your insurance company will pay for it for you. Sometimes you might have to pay a little extra money if you want some sort of upgrade like battery powered one or something like that. Most insurance companies do have to cover this for moms. Look into it and make sure that you're seeing if you can get your breast pump paid for. Next category for your registry is bath time. You're definitely going to want an infant bathtub. My favorite one was the first year's bathtub. I just thought this was the best mix of price and quality. Thought it was a great tub. You're only using them for so long. Other ones that are more expensive that have like a temperature component built in. I just bought this temperature rubber ducky separately and that made sure that the water was a safe temperature. I thought this was a better combination because once my son was able to not be in this bathtub and be in the real bathtub, I could still use that temperature duct to make sure his bath water was a good temperature. I really like this bathtub and I love that temperature checking duct for those reasons. Also gonna want some washcloths. I really like the Papiki brand of washcloths. I hope I'm not botching that. They are the softest washcloths. They are so nice. They come in a bunch of different colors. Definitely gonna need washcloths and I highly recommend this brand. Also gonna need at least 1 to 2 hooded towels minimum. I think you'll be fine if you have 2 that you can rotate throughout the week. I still am using the same 2 hooded towels from when my son was born and he is now 16 months old. Really just need 2 of them. They're washable and you just kind of rotate through them. Feel free to get more if you want. The hooded towel is really important because babies lose a lot of their heat and their body temperature through their heads. Make sure that you're looking for a hooded towel. I think they're great to include on your registry. I found that you should include on your registry is CeraVe baby wash and lotion. Now, this is top recommended by all the pediatricians and dermatologists. It's gentle on your baby's skin. I definitely recommend using this when it comes to your baby's first baby wash and lotion. It doesn't smell great. It really doesn't smell bad. It just doesn't have much of a smell to it because it's really sensitive for your baby's skin. You can use like a Dove or any other kind of baby lotion that you think smells really wonderful, and you can kind of just rub a little bit on the top of their heads. This is the best one for not drying their skin out. The reason why I say go for CeraVe cream and not lotion is because the cream is much more moisturizing than a lotion. Lotion tends to dry out a new baby's skin. Definitely want to include CeraVe body wash and cream on your baby registry under your bathing category. You may want to include some bath time toys for your baby to explore. This Munchkin ball is a great first bath toy for baby. It has a rattle component to it, and I really like this one. Definitely think about adding something like this to your registry. There's also little boats and little rubber duckies and things like that. Of course, baby should always be supervised with toys and always supervised in the bath. These are some great toys to add to your registry. I also really like the Skip Hop baby bath set. I think this is great. It comes with a little scooper for you to be able to wash baby's head off with. It comes with a little padded thing to lean over the bathtub and for mom or dad or caregiver. That way, you know, your elbows aren't sore because you're right there with them during every bath time, making sure they're safe. I really like this kit from Skip Hop, and it's definitely something to consider adding to your baby registry. Last thing I'm going to talk about under the bathing category is including a hairbrush. Really just depends if your baby's gonna have hair or not when they're born. My son did not have hair. He had like a little bit of hair, but it took a long time for it to grow. We didn't need his hairbrush until many months later, but it might be nice to include this on your registry. I really liked this one from Natima. I really liked this wooden hairbrush set. It had very soft bristles. I thought it was a great one. It was really soft on his head once he did grow his hair. Definitely recommend if you're looking for a baby hairbrush to include this one on your registry. The next category that we're going to talk about is diapering. So you're definitely going to want some diaper pails on your registry to trap all those stinky odors. I definitely see the value in them. If you can include one or two, I think they're a great investment. Definitely keeps the smells away. I really like the Ubi diaper pail. I like that it has a lock on it so that baby can't get their little hands and fingers caught in it, and you can leave that locked and they can't dig around in their dirty diapers. Definitely recommend adding the Ubi diaper pail or a similar product to your baby registry. The next thing under diapering that I would include is a wipe warmer. I just think this is really nice. If this is a luxury, you know, a little luxury if you can add it to your registry. It's really nice to be able to have a warm wipe when it comes to wiping baby. I think that it's less shocking, the cold air on them. They're very sensitive to the cold air. I liked the Hiccup Pop wipe warmer. It has a little night light component to it if you're doing a diaper change and trying to keep the lights low so baby stays asleep. I definitely would consider adding a wipe warmer such as this one onto your registry. You're going to want to have some diapers, of course, under diapering on your baby registry. You don't want to go too crazy because it really just depends how much storage you have, but diapers are expensive. Maybe that is something that you want to try and buy in bulk or have other people gift to you in the beginning. For me, I didn't really want to store too many of them, and I wasn't really sure of baby sizing. Really just up to you, but you're going to need some diapers. My favorite brand is Pampers. This is totally personal preference. Really like Pampers Swaddlers. It's what we always use in the hospitals. It's what I trust. Everyone has different preferences and they feel pretty strongly about which diaper brands they prefer. You know, just check it out, see which one is right for you and your baby. Another thing under diapering is that you're going to want to have some diaper changing pads. I really like the one from Hatch, and this gave me a lot of comfort because I exclusively breastfed, and the Hatch diaper changing pad is actually a scale. It weighs baby. When you're breastfeeding and you're not bottle feeding, you don't really have a measurable way to know how much baby is getting, and this just gave me so much peace of mind. I could track his weights, weigh him like almost every day to make sure that he was growing appropriately. It gave me peace of mind. I think this is a really cool tool, especially with what's going on in the world. Maybe you're doing more virtual visits with your baby to kind of keep them safe from germs. I think it's a really great product. Definitely consider adding to your registry. Another diaper changing pad that I really liked was from Munchkin. It was nice and padded. It was just a regular diaper changing pad. And then the covers that I really liked, because they were very easy to wipe down, were actually from Cloud Island. Come in all different types of patterns, and I really liked these ones because they were a material that was easy to wipe down, and anything to minimize the amount of laundry you're doing, especially in the beginning, is really nice. Next thing that you're definitely going to want to include under diapering is diaper rash cream. My favorite diaper rash cream is Desitin brand Maximum Strength. I feel like this is the most effective in protecting against diaper rashes. But there's some other notable good ones, such as Anais brand. Theirs has like a little bit of a beady texture to the diaper rash cream. I don't think it's as good as Desitin. A lot of people like it. Definitely want to include diaper rash cream, and you want to have it and be applying it to baby right away to protect their skin. They're just not used to sitting in wet or soiled diapers. The next category of your baby registry that we're going to talk about is nursery. So you're definitely going to want a crib. You're also going to want to think about having a bassinet. It depends where your baby will be sleeping. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends for the first 6 months of life that baby be sleeping in the room with you in a bassinet or a crib. I really love the Snoo bassinet. This one is pricey. You can do more than buy it. You also can rent it. They have a rental option for you if buying it is out of the budget, and then maybe you can see, depending on how you like it, if it is something that you want to invest in the future. You're really going to need a bassinet for the first 6 months of life if that's what you choose to do. For me, as a exclusively breastfeeding mom, it was so much easier to just have a bassinet set up right in the room. I just love the Snoo. I think it really led a good foundation for him being a great sleeper. Can't recommend it enough. Of course, when it comes to picking out a crib or a bassinet, it's a personal preference, and please check out the safety ratings on it. Nothing else should be put in them with baby. There should be no toys in there with the baby, no crib bumpers, nothing like that. Check out, make sure it's safe before you purchase any crib or bassinet. You also are going to want a crib mattress. You're going to want a breathable crib mattress. Do your research. Check out websites like consumerreports.org to make sure that the items you're looking at are safe and they follow the safety guidelines and standards. Make sure any paints or anything used on the crib are not toxic and are safe for baby. Green Guard certified is what it's called. You want to look for that on whatever products you're looking at. Also think that under this category, if you can, including a rocking chair, really great for bedtime stories. Reading to your baby is one of the most important and valuable gifts you can give them. Have a nice rocking chair and it can become part of your bedtime routine. Really liked this particular rocking chair that I'm going to link below. Another thing in this category that I think is really essential to include on your registry is a monitor, a baby monitor or a camera. I really like the Nest camera system. It's not really a baby product. The Nest cameras can be used in all different areas, but I really like that because we have other Nest products. I'm a huge fan, and I also love the Owlet Smart Sock. Did choose to put the Owlet camera on my registry because it's compatible with the Smart Sock, which measures your baby's heart rate and pulse ox while they sleep at night. And for me, that just gives me such comfort and peace of mind. Also an essential item that I would include under this category. Under the category health and safety, you're gonna want some Oogie Boogie cleaners and things to suction out your baby's nose. There is the Oogie Bear Boogie Cleaner. Also the Freedom Mom baby kit that includes a nose sucker, nail clippers, nail files, things like that. These are all products you may want to include on your baby registry. If you're a breastfeeding or pumping mom, you're also going to want to include nipple creams and butters. Postpartum care, under this category, health and safety. You're going to want to look for those icy maxi pads. You can ask for some before you leave the hospital if you don't have that in the budget. Freedom Mom makes some really good ice maxi pads, and make sure you check out my other video on the essential items. Under health and safety, you might want to think about getting a humidifier. Regular humidifier from Vicks. They sell all different types of humidifiers now. You want to check and see which one looks right for you. It's a really nice thing to have in baby's room if your air in your home is a little bit more dry. For health and safety, you're also going to include a temporal thermometer. I have one of these from Exergen. I think this is a really good temporal thermometer. You're also going to unfortunately need a rectal thermometer. This is really the most accurate way to take baby's temperature, and if you start getting a high reading on the temporal thermometer, your pediatrician most likely is going to want to confirm baby's temperature with a rectal thermometer reading. It is important to include both of these under the health and safety category of your baby registry. Under health and safety for mom, you may want to include some organic nursing pads, cotton pads, to catch any leakage you have. Even if you choose breastfeeding is not right for you, it's not a good fit, your milk still may come in and you may have some leaking, so you might want to include some of those nursing pads in the beginning, regardless of whether or not you choose formula, however you choose to feed your baby. You have some of those nursing pads beginning, especially since you might be leaking through some of your clothes. That brings me to my final category for your baby registry. It's books. I think this is one of the most exciting and important categories for your baby, especially with my background in early childhood development. There's no better thing you can do than read to your baby. It's just amazing. They love to hear your voice. It exposes them to new vocabulary, helps enhance their language, their cognitive development. It's just so valuable. Definitely recommend having a category on your registry for books for baby. Maybe instead of cards, you could ask people to kind of write a note on the inside of a book. I think this is a wonderful way and a cool way to build a library for your baby. Some great books are The Very Hungry Caterpillar, Goodnight Moon. There's so many great books, and I'll link some down below. And then also, when you're thinking about books, maybe you want to think about reading some books for you, for the caregiver, for the parent, for mom, for who's ever going to be caring for this baby. One is What to Expect When You're Expecting. It's a great book. There's also What to Expect for the First Year of Life. Definitely, I think books are amazing, and I would include a category on your registry for books for yourself and also for your baby. Hope this video was helpful and informative. And again, all the items I talked about are linked in the description box below. Before you leave, if you could like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos. I go more into depth on postpartum items that mom might need, and I also go into depth on breastfeeding and breastfeeding items you may need, and pumping tips and tricks, and all things early childhood development. Definitely check out all my other videos. I hope that you like, I hope that you subscribe. Leave down in the comments section any items that you found to be essential items for your baby that you think other parents should include on their registries. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you next time.